Let there be light. Ta-da! Welcome to my studio. Well, it's not a studio. It's a studio. My makeshift studio. It's been a minute. I have not made one of these videos in like a month, and for good reason. I've been working on a bunch of stuff. I recently spent 2 weeks filming a series of short films with a company called Bizzay, and I'll link their stuff in the description below. But they're some acquaintances of mine. Obviously, filmmakers typically end up knowing other filmmakers. So I got asked to help out with this project called The Human Condition. And it's a series of 4 short films that are all kind of like intertwined together to make a feature film, I guess. It's not necessarily, it's like 45 minutes. But it was really fun. I ran all the audio for it and worked on some lighting, and it was just really cool to kind of see how we, the filmmaking fakes, how you make a place look like it's supposed to be, or like shooting in the daytime and turning it into night. And just to kind of like, it was really fun being on set of somebody else's work, to see how they run things and how they go about creating. And you kind of pick up on somebody's like, oh wow, that's really cool, never thought to do it that way, but it works. And vice versa, like, to be like, oh, have you guys ever tried this? And like, just, I don't know, it's really cool to collaborate. I love it. You learn so much stuff, and it was really fun to make. And then the week after we wrapped up filming with that, I started filming a personal project, and I'd say this is probably my first time directing, and it's really cool, but it's also really stressful. I'm learning how to be a director, I guess. I ran a set, I would say, for my first time. Like, we had a set of, it was 12 people, just to get one shot, and everybody was playing a part. We had, I think, 8 people running lights, because the lights had to move, so we had to like orchestrate and time out, like block everything out. It was the first time I finally got to use a dolly that I built in like the beginning of the summer, like springtime. I built a dolly. I've been looking forward to using it and never really got the chance. And in this film that I'm working on with my friend is a music video. I'm trying to take every opportunity to use all the gear that I don't get to use very much, and like try my best to get shots that, I like wrote a shot list out. Actually, it's right here. I wrote this shot list out, and it's all color coordinated, so I know what shots are in which locations and all that stuff. But there's a bunch of shots in there that I wrote down, and then we sat there, and me and him were like, how are we even gonna get this shot? Like, how I don't know how I'm gonna achieve this. And he's like, well, maybe we should try something else. I'm like, no, that's the best part. When you like write a shot and you know it's going to be great, you see it in your head and it gets you all giddy, but you have no idea how you're going to get it. Like, sometimes those shots are the best because you have to, that's where kind of creative thinking comes from. Realizing you can't do it or you don't know how, and trying to like make your own way to do it. And, in like the Hollywood, the $1 million movies, there's a really easy way to do it, but we don't have that budget, we don't have that gear. So the creative solutions we ended up coming up with for a bunch of different shots were really cool, and that's my favorite aspect of filmmaking. So this new video I'm working on has me giddy with joy. Ooh. Oh, it's so cool to see your vision come to life. Like I said, it's my first time directing, my first time making something. I mean, he came to me with an idea, and I love when people do that, because oftentimes, from a filmmaker standpoint, whenever I think of an idea for a film or a project, I imagine in a way that a filmmaker would do it to make it happen. And I love when people present ideas, because oftentimes they're coming from a very different aspect of thinking, or they think about things not in a filmmaking sense. So the ideas that they come to me with are like, if it's a music video, you have 3 minutes to tell a story. And like, that's kind of a lot to tell in 3 minutes. I don't know how we're gonna manage that. I love when people come with me with ideas like that, because I don't ever tell them that, because it's just disappointing to come up to like, oh, I know this filmmaker guy, and like throw in my idea, and I go, oh, that doesn't really work. How do we turn their non-filmmaker idea into a filmmaking thing? How do I make a film? Like, how do I film make this? That's the term. How do you film make it? Well, you take an idea that's not a movie and you make it a movie. How do you film make it? So on the doing it anyways topic, I figured I'd discuss these videos because these are something I have to do it anyways. I love being behind a camera and not talking, and it's difficult to sit still. I'm over animated and I'm worried about audio, and I can't do this because then you can't hear what I'm saying if I move around too much, because the audio's got to be good and the lighting's great, so I can't move this way. I'll be out of focus, and it's difficult to make these videos. They're, dare I say, boring? They're boring! They're so boring! I would just like, it's not how I make a video at all. I don't like staring at the camera. I can't stare at the camera. Like, I wander. I'm all over the place all the time. And I'll just randomly get up and do stupid things and then continue the video. And this is how I'd make a video. This would be a me video. And I'm the YouTube standard vlog video where you talk to camera. Not me, not gonna happen. This is how I make a video, and this is how I'm gonna make this video as of now. This is a me video. So today is Tuesday, and I'm posting 2 videos that I don't want to post, or I guess reposting one. One of them has been posted before, but it was posted through another entity, and it was a video I was actually very proud of doing, and that's kind of why I'm posting it. It is an old video and it's not very good, but at the time I was very proud of it, and now that I watch it I'm like, oh god, it's garbage. But that's kind of the goal. Like I enjoy that aspect of looking at old stuff and thinking that it's crap now, or being like, wow, I was so mediocre then, or so like I really didn't know what I was doing. And that's honestly a really good thing to see, and I hope to continue seeing that, because if you look at old work and you realize that it's not as good as you thought it was then, it's because you've learned more since. So if you're looking at that and like that was your best work at the time, but now it is not your best work, it is far from your best work, then that's good. It means you're progressing, you're moving. And so that video I will post today, and this video that I'm filming now will be up in a few days. But that one is the first music video I ever did, and it was really cool to have done. And the second video will be a video I did for Will Ingram, which is a project that I was actually very pleased on, got done, but it was supposed to be part of a series, and the series never came to be, so the video never ended up airing or being put out. So I'm going to put that out, and it'll be nice to walk away from that one, man. Beautiful Joy Swan. If you haven't seen it, go watch it here. This lens is something that I don't know, it's not necessarily like symbolic, but this is a lens that I paid $22 for, and I filmed my first video using this, and I realized after filming the video that I love this lens. And it was just something that went to show me, like, to a lot of people, this lens is worth nothing. It's a vintage lens. It's a Russian lens from the 50s. And you'd think it would be obsolete and out of date and not a very good lens, but it turned out to be really cool, and I love it, and I use it all the time now, and it's one of my favorite portrait lenses, and I paid $22 for it. Like, in theory, this should be a crap lens, but it's not. Sometimes things surprise you and they end up being better than you expected. Do what you can with what you have. I filmed a video with the only lens that I had, and it turned out to be a really cool lens. So sometimes just kind of going with the flow, or like doing what you can with what you got, ends up actually being better than you thought that it was, that you had so much that you could do anything. You got a lot of room to wiggle between very good and absolutely perfect. That space between there for you to fall has a lot of room, and you'd be surprised at how easy it is to make something good enough. That was my first time letterboxing, and I got real carried away, if you couldn't tell. It's in like an impossible, it's like a little sliver of a video, because I cropped it out so much thinking it looked more cinematic. So That's something I learned. You know, that's one of those things that I look at and I'm like, oh, young me. And that was about a year. That's 2 years ago I filmed that video. At the time, a lot of learning. Hopefully some of you guys recognize the guy playing that NPC in that video is none other than Ralph Castelli himself. So if you don't know Ralph Castelli, check him out. And then Beautiful Joy also is the artist in the video. So check those two people out, and we filmed that in coordination in a company. I filmed it for a company called a record label called Satellite Heart Records, and I was paid to do that job. That was my first paid video. So check out all those three. I'll leave links to those in the description. That was a slap together project, and it was great. I had a lot of fun doing it because I didn't necessarily have any crazy expectations for it. It was slapped together, and it turned out really good. And actually, I was really proud of it. I got like 15,000 views in 2 weeks, and the video was on the news, and it also aired on our local music channel, which airs immediately following Saturday Night Live. So that's like, I don't know, it's like kind of cool. It's called The Venue. I remember like as a kid always watching it because I'd watch Saturday Night Live, and I'm a kid, so I'm staying up late because I don't need sleep as an 8-year-old. I remember always seeing the show. It was such a triumphant moment to have my video on The Venue and have it open the show. So the second Saturday Night Live rolled the credits, the very next thing was my music video, and it was my first music video, and that was really cool for me. And that's kind of what spawned me taking Medium more seriously, because before then I was like an aspiring filmmaker. I was going to school for film, but that video was like, wait a second, I can actually make films. Like, even though I'm not at a crazy Hollywood budget level, like the stuff I'm doing is good enough. And then this second video was Will Ingram's, just, I don't even have a name for it, it's just a cover of Feeling Whitney by Post Malone. And the idea of this was after the success of Beautiful Joy Swan, I was like, man, I want to do this more. They're really easy videos, they're fun to do, these little one-take videos, and I was kind of inspired by like Audio Tree Live or the X Sessions, Tiny Desk on NPR, Mahogany Sessions, and all of these things, the Burberry Acoustics. They're kind of this like YouTube platform of videos similar to these, where they just kind of take they record audio in the setting they're in, so it kind of like alleviates the stress of me having to have these great studio recordings. We mic it up in the environment that we're in, so like this video with Will, it was really cool because I mixed a bunch of different tracks where I went out like a little deeper into the woods and filmed the birds singing, and we had like a plane fly overhead at one point, and like mixing the audio and kind of like making it feel like you are just sitting in the woods with him and he's playing a song. It was also my first time using a Steadicam. I just bought a Steadicam, and so I had a reason to film that video, and we'll link that one on this side. So right here, ta-da, boom. I had an idea or a goal, a plan to film a series. He had a series of covers and then a few original songs, and so what we were gonna do was film a video and release one every month, a cover. So we'd kind of post these first few videos and then work on his solo stuff. But he's a commercial fisher and he went away, so that never ended up being, and ta-da, posting it anyways material, the half-finished projects. But I really liked this one because it was actually the very last video I filmed on this camera. This was my first camera, Panasonic Lumix GH3. This one I got for Christmas from my grandparents when I was in college for film, and it is a little micro 4/3 crop sensor. And obviously, for you guys understand, I started on full frame cameras, so going to a crop sensor was really difficult for me. I didn't even know what a crop sensor was at the time because I started with film, where everything, like, you'd say it was a 16 mil cam, like this is a 120, this is a medium format. The digital world to me was foreign, and so but yeah, it was nice. It's got optic stabilization, and I filmed Canada on it. Canadian, an Alaskan memoir. If you haven't seen that, watch it. It's ridiculous. This camera is wonderful, but without a quality lens, shots don't look, you don't have that cinematic feel, and that's how I felt with this video. And it was kind of a big push for me to upgrade to my new setup now, which is a Canon 5D Mark IV with a bunch of vintage lenses because of this. I actually don't own any new lenses at all. All of the lenses that I film with, even this video, it's a vintage Japanese lens from the 60s, and I think I paid $35 for this lens, and like most of this gear I got dirt cheap because I don't feel like, $22 lens is good enough, man. You couldn't even tell that it's not like some incredibly expensive lens. In the future, either I will go with filming the video in one take and using the audio from that one take and not cutting from different angles, or to just have to run multiple cameras, or understand that you're going to get multiple takes, but to get an audio take where he plays and we can play that audio back. If you don't have a metronome, you can just record the audio once and then play it back every time and play to that, or play to a metronome. But either way, that was my first time experiencing video not lining up with audio every time. So I've learned that. Those are the two music videos that I did. I am choosing to post music videos because, man, I'm getting buzzed. Anyways, where was I? Very good tea. Are you coffee or tea? What kind of person are you? Do you like cream and sugar in your tea? Because I do. My morning tea always has almond milk. It's gotta be creamy to be a breakfast beverage. I'm posting music videos this week because I'm working on a music video now. And so, I don't know, I'm kind of in music videos right now. And I kind of battle with this. Like, there's kind of like, it's almost like as Starbucks is to real coffee, music videos are to real filmmaking, some people say. I disagree. I think music videos are kind of, a lot of people use them as like a cop-out because you can kind of do anything and it doesn't have to be high quality or high budget or even really make sense at all. So music videos are a really easy thing to not fail at as far as filmmaking goes. But I see them as, they're like the ability to be avant-garde without actually being considered like weird, or like, like you can make anything into a music video and it's still entertaining. Avant-garde films are sometimes not for everyone, but an avant-garde music video somehow works. Like anyone can enjoy a good music video, like The Less I Know The Better by Tame Impala, or what's another one? Any music video really by Roosevelt or Darwin Dees. They're just really cool films, and I'll link all of those, the ones in particular that I'm talking about that kind of influence my understanding of music videos. I'll link a few in the description, so that way if you're not familiar with really cool music videos, take a look. Canada, the film group, great work. Everything they do is really good. Also, I'll link just a few other random videos below that I think are really cool, that I'd like for more people to see and understand as far as like what I think is interesting from a filmmaking standpoint. But basically, I love music videos because you have creative ability. You can kind of do whatever you like. So if I have an idea that I go, whoa, this would be really weird and really cool, that I don't know if you could pull that off in the middle of a feature-length film, this one particular standout shot, like crazy camera movement and like odd like lighting things. Like there's just, you can get away with murder essentially in a music video and it works. It just is like completely acceptable. So I find myself wanting to do music videos all the time. And part of me is like, wow, that's lame, like all you do is music videos. But at the same time, like, nah, man, music videos are really cool. They're some of my favorite kind of films to watch because of the fact that people get really creative with it, and you'll see things that you just like blew your mind. You don't know how they did that. And oftentimes in movies, it's set to be very comfortable and to not even notice that it's a film. You know, you're almost supposed to like feel like you're just kind of experiencing it. But music videos have always been focused on just visuals, just the storytelling, or the fact that you can be entertaining with just like watching video clips or animation clips or anything. Like, it's just strictly visuals. So to me, that's like really what I care about in filmmaking. Like, you know, I don't write scripts. I don't think I'd be very good at that. I guess I've never really sat down and tried, but it's also something that I'm not interested in. I love the visual part of filmmaking. That is the fun of it. That is the creative aspect of it. And music videos give me that freedom. So I really enjoy making music videos. If you're a musician and you'd like to talk to somebody about making music videos, let me know. You can get away with crazy things in music videos, and it just works. It just is acceptable. So I love music videos. They're just a really cool thing to make. And the one I'm doing right now is, I could do anything. We could do anything. We're doing anything. It's going to be great. So we've got 2 more days left to film on that, and then we'll be done with that project. So hopefully that video will be out soon, like maybe within a month or 2. And then The Human Condition, the film that I did with Bizzay for those like 2 weeks, we're actually most likely going to have a Beartooth premiere. If you're Alaskan local, be on the lookout. I will obviously post teasers or little videos whenever our premiere date is. It will be all over the place, so keep an eye out for that. Hopefully we will land the Beartooth spot and we can premiere it, and I can cross that off the bucket list of having a Beartooth premiere, because man, that would be great. Oh, that would be so cool. So fingers crossed for that. And I guess that's it for this video. This is a very me style video. I don't know how entertaining it was, but for those of you who really even care, I feel like if you're interested in what I've been up to, that was a good, I did it. Cool. This video's done. Heck yeah. What a weight off my shoulders to get this video out of the way. Oh.